Previously on the What Inspires You Tour.
It's been 90 days of excitement and impactfulness, change. Then onward to Alexandria, and then we've got the big ride into DC on the 30th. Beautiful Denver, Colorado, at the AAKP, the Association of Kidney Patients annual conference. Here talking about education prevention, the What Inspires You tour, and effectively what we did for the past 3 months and how we move forward.
The purpose of the convention is to help educate the patients, but also inspire them and motivate them, and to also let them know that although they've been diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, yes, it is a terrible disease. It's a hard to manage disease, but there's hope.
The patients, when they see Shad at the booths, they can relate to him and they're inspired. You know, they don't always have the energy. I've heard a lot of patients ask him, do you have days where you just have no energy? And he said, you know, I heard him yesterday say, there have been days, but not anymore, because I'm not like that. I want to get, you know, I want to be active. I want to be out there doing this. And I think that definitely that means something to them, because the mind is a powerful thing. And if you put your mind to something, you can do it. If you say, you know what, I'm not feeling great today, but I'm inspired to get up and do something, you can do it.
The truly novel thing that Shad brings is his ability to inspire. He's a very enthusiastic individual, and he leads by example. And so he has the street cred, if you will, to talk to a patient and break through sort of a commonality of, yeah, I've been there. Because if you listen to his history, you know, he's been to the depths of depression. He's been to the border of physical breakdown, basically, and he's brought himself back.
The presentation was interesting as we've added some new dynamics, some new programs. The foundation has shifted its focus to be tool and resource driven. And so in this presentation we talked about some of the new things that we're launching. Renalresources.org is this social networking and renal search engine driven product that really will bring the global renal community together. We've got a program called Baseline that effectively creates stabilization and rehabilitation for people affected with kidney failure. And we're talking about the entire renal continuum. We're talking about dialysis, transplant, CKD, diabetics, so targeting the entire population. We've got a Simply Fit exercise series that was developed, providing some suggestions, some examples, and ultimately that's going to migrate into a full-blown program providing specific areas of interest to that diverse population.
One of the things we're doing is partnering with Shad in the development of his website, because he's got other partners that are involved in that who are expert in developing materials specifically for the web. It's one thing to write a brochure and put pages of it up on the web. It's a different thing to develop an application for web browsers that really engages them the way they like to be engaged.
I think capturing the momentum of the ride and people's fascination with Shad and his story, and then giving them the ways to reach out in the renal community, but outside the renal community, is critical. So with the launch of Renal Resources and its social networking platform is something that hasn't been done yet, specific in that community.
it's likely that more patients will be treated in what today are the more non-traditional methods, meaning either nocturnal programs, nocturnal in-center programs, home therapies, we presume will expand. That's something that Medicare seems to be invested in incenting. And in general, if you read the scientific literature, people do better in that home environment. So there's more and more ways available every day to try and integrate patients who do require therapy into a more normalized lifestyle and setting.
For the first time, I think people are finally standing up and seeing people like Shad, who are these true examples that you can do it, that quality does matter, that's the direction we should be going.
In the past, if you look at how patients with kidney disease or any other disease state, in essence, the information they got originally was just from a doctor, from the healthcare profession. With the invention of the internet, obviously, you began to be able to search your own information in an environment that was comfortable to you again. Instead of sitting in a waiting room, maybe, or in an exam room, you could sit in your own living room and begin to explore the issues for your own medical well-being. And now the ability to talk to individual people one-on-one, again in that sort of protected, comfortable environment, knowing that you share similarities and you share differences, and that exchange of information, sort of bridging the information gap, I think is really the next step, and it's only possible through technology.
More people are involved in fitness, more people are involved in preventative education, there's an information expansion. We've only really touched the cusp of what internet technology can bring to this mix.
We need to make sure that when patients search, they can find the information that they need, and it's at a level that they can understand, that doesn't scare them. End-stage renal disease is a scary disease. So when you provide the information, you want to make sure that it's informative, it's something they can use, but also that it'll help push them towards asking the next question. Okay, now what are the next steps for me?
I've known Shad for 2 or 3 years now, and I think the achievement of this ride is something that meant a lot to him, and we're happy to have played a role in facilitating it and getting it out there. And he certainly has become a role model for patients at large, and we look forward to continued sponsorship of his endeavors. I think it's a responsible thing for Fresenius, and I think he's doing great things and will continue to do so.
The ride meant, well, it evolved. It grew into so much more. As the ride got closer, the dynamic changed and things changed, and we readjusted and we honed our focus. I struggled at points along the ride where I even questioned, am I going to get through today? And it is a metaphor for life. You will be presented with challenges in your life. That's a given. It's going to happen. And where we grow, I think, as individuals is how we adapt to those challenges. It's in the struggle where we find who we truly are, and it's not the destination. It's always about the journey, and the journey continues.